You're running away from a group of mysterious men during a rainy night, and you end up being trapped in a dark alleyway. As your heart races, the powerful men in suits slowly begin walking towards you. With nowhere to go, you begin to panic. Then out of nowhere, one of them throws a hard punch right to the side of your face as his friend knees you in the stomach. As you fall to the ground, one of them picks you up and throws you across the alley. You can feel your body hit the hard pavement and you prepare for a long night. But as you begin to look up, you see a beautiful, dirty blonde lady wearing elegant clothes mocking you. Why are you just taking it like that? This is the opening scene of the 1988 anime series Hades Project Zeorymer. This intense and action-packed mecha anime follows the journey of a high school student named Masato Akitsu, who finds himself in possession of a powerful giant robot known as Zeorymer. But before we get to that, let's talk about why Hades Project Zeorymer is an underappreciated gem in the world of mecha anime. What sets this series apart from others is its unique blend of science fiction, action, and romance. The story revolves around a secret organization called the How Dragon, who plan to use Zeorymer as a weapon for their own gain. But little do they know, Zeorymer is not just any regular robot. I'll share what makes Zeorymer so special in a bit. But for now, I have a confession to make. I've never been too much into the mecha genre of anime, despite its popularity in the anime community, but Hades Project Zeorymer caught my attention with its nostalgic art style. After doing a mid-90s anime recap of Serial Experiments Lain, I needed a break from the dark and heavy themes and wanting to see being blown up, and that's what I got within the first 5 minutes of Hades Project Zeorymer. With a secret organization revealing itself to a tech company serving as a front, the bad guys of the show shoot an explosive attack right at the company's office building, obliterating it to bits. After that, a scene full of cult-like weirdos begin telling the backstory of what happened years ago and what the future holds. This intro was all I needed to get hooked onto the show. Basically, a power-hungry group was driven to secrecy after a traitor stole their secrets and one of their most powerful weapons. Now, years later, they have returned to reclaim what was taken from them and to use it for their own nefarious purposes. Look, I know what you're thinking. Wow, an evil group trying to rule the world. How original. But trust me, Hades Project Zeorymer adds its own unique twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. One thing I appreciate about this series is its use of foreshadowing. It zooms in on key characters in subtle ways, hinting at their importance later on in the story. It's a small detail, but it adds depth and intrigue to the plot. These small details will all make sense later on. But a key theme of this mecha anime is power and control. Each character has their own motivations and desires, resulting in a constant struggle for power between them. The main character, Masato Akitsu, is thrust into this conflict as he discovers his true identity and the role he plays in the Hades Project. Meanwhile, each member of the secret organization has their own unique mecha suits, each with their own special abilities and designs. The battles between these mechas are intense and visually stunning, adding to the overall excitement of the series, with connections to different elements like earth, water, wind, and heaven, which was stolen by the traitor. There is always something new and intriguing to discover. Like for one, the main lady bad gal sends her lover to be the first to fight the Zeorymer, the Heaven First. He asks why he's being sent, and if it's because she loves him after a spicy night together, but she just sheds a tear and deflects the question. And so, the character development and relationships building has just begun. Meanwhile, our protagonist is having the most difficult night of his life. After being brutally beaten, he wakes up in a prison cell just to learn that his parents aren't his real parents. He's not let in on why he was kidnapped and raised as an ordinary human, but it's hinted that his true identity is connected to the Hades Project. As Taiha blasts off in his mecha, Landstar of the Wind, Masato is being transported to an unknown location, but before that, he shows his bravery by striking one of the guards and wrapping his handcuffs around his neck. The truck door flies open as they are driving and he jumps out of the vehicle, and in the most unlikely and unrealistic anime moment ever, the guard shoots a bullet hitting his handcuff chains, releasing him as he flies out of the back of the truck. He sprints away into the night, determined to find answers and take down those responsible for his kidnapping. But he doesn't make it far. The ground opens up and he falls down into a large underground base. There he meets the mysterious woman and the man that kidnapped him. From there, he finds out why he was born. To be the pilot of the Zeorymer, a powerful meccha designed to bring destruction and chaos to the world. He's shocked, conflicted, and angry. But before he can process everything, he's thrown into his first battle. Taiha has already tracked them down and is ready to confront Masato, one of them fighting for love, the other fighting out of instinct and survival. The animation of the fight scenes were meh, but for the time it was released, it was still impressive. The two mechas clash in a fight that seems evenly matched at first until Masato taps into the true power of the Zeorymer. After spewing some cheesy lines about fighting for love, Taiha is defeated and Masato is shocked at his natural abilities to control the mecha. This is the end of the first episode, and as the series continues, we see how each challenge and battle pushes Masato to question his purpose and morality. He steadily becomes more and more dark as he continues to use the Zeorymer and learns more about its true purpose. One day, as he's walking outside, the team of the Empress and her friends kidnap him. At this point, more of the backstory is revealed and Masato learns that each mecha robot is linked to a specific person. For him, he's linked to both the robot and the co-pilot of the Zeorymer, the dirty blonde-haired girl named Miku. Now, I won't spoil too much as there are some good character storylines, conflicts, and emotional moments. But let's just say he escapes with the help of Miku, and instantly finds himself fighting alongside her in the mecha. This adds a new dynamic to the series as they must learn to work together and trust each other in order to use the full power of the Zeorymer. After defeating their second enemy together, Masato keeps getting cockier, and his alter ego begins to take over. This leads him to insult and belittle Miku, causing a rift between them. As she leaves his presence, Miku finds herself being the one kidnapped by the Empress and her friends. This leads to a major turning point in the series, as Masato is forced to confront his true feelings and motivations for using the Zeorymer. This is where the story gets complicated, but I'm glad it went down this direction, because it added depth to the characters and their relationships. In simple terms, Masato is just a clone of a previous evil genius who wanted to take the Zeorymer for himself and rule the world. In the final scene, the Empress says F it with destroying Zeorymer and decides to begin Project Hades. Basically a plan to just take over the world, I guess. In Final Showdown, Masato, Miku, and Zeorymer must fight together to stop the Empress and her evil plan. But the truth is, Masato, who is now possessed by his creator, the evil genius, actually wants to take over the world himself. Wow, that's a lot of plot twists and character development packed into one series. Basically, pretty much everyone but humanity dies at the end, and Masato redeems himself by sharing how he truly feels and sacrificing himself to save the world. It's a bittersweet ending, but it ends the storyline, which honestly was pretty convoluted and should have ended much sooner. So what was this anime actually good at? The dialogue was average at best, with many unrealistic cheesy lines and clunky exposition. The animation was decent for its time, but nothing groundbreaking. And the plot was convoluted and all over the place. So why is it still remembered and talked about today? One reason could be its influence on other mecha anime that followed, introducing elements such as psychic powers and transforming mechas. Another reason could be its themes of destiny and free will, exploring the consequences and responsibilities that come with great power. But perhaps the biggest reason is simply nostalgia. For many fans, Hades Project Zeorymer was one of the first mecha anime they watched, and it holds a special place in their hearts, despite its flaws. It's a fun anime that you can watch without thinking too much, and has a predictable story with some character development. Don't expect it to be the most well-written or well-animated anime, but it's definitely worth a watch for fans of the mecha genre. And who knows, you might just get caught up in the nostalgia and find yourself enjoying it more than you expected. I know I did. So give it a try and see for yourself if Hades Project Zeorymer still holds up after all these years. It's only 4 episodes long, and each episode is about 30 minutes. Any longer, and it may have overstayed its welcome, but at this length, it's a quick and enjoyable watch. And remember, sometimes the classics aren't perfect, but they still hold a special charm, that can't be replicated. I'm Desiree Hunter, and I make videos about anime. If you're looking for another nostalgic anime that's more psychological and thought-provoking in nature, check out my video about Serial Experiments Lane. I'll leave it up for you to click right here on the screen.